Hey everyone, it's Leonard here. I want to tell you about a man named Doyle Marsh, 71 years old, retired electrician from a small town in Tennessee. Every morning for 32 years, he ate the same breakfast, a bowl of plain instant oatmeal with a little sugar and a cup of black coffee. And every morning, he told his wife Carol that he was taking care of himself. He wasn't. He was doing one thing right, eating oatmeal, and one thing that was quietly costing him years off his life. And it took a 911 call, a gurney through his kitchen door, and a surgeon who nearly didn't make it in time to change that. Now Doyle is 82 years old. He still eats oatmeal every morning, but he eats it differently now. And the difference, according to his cardiologist, may well be the reason he was alive to walk his youngest granddaughter down the aisle last spring. I am going to tell you what that ingredient is. I am going to tell you exactly how to use it and why it works. But first, I need you to understand what Doyle's arteries looked like on that table, because once you see it through my eyes, you will never look at your morning bowl of oatmeal the same way again. Stay with me. This matters more than you think. I practiced internal medicine for 41 years. For the last 20 of those years, I worked closely with a cardiologist friend of mine, a brilliant man named Dr. Emmett Rourke. Between the two of us, we had seen more arterial blockages than I care to count. Plaques building up on the inside walls of blood vessels like rust inside an old pipe. Slowly, quietly. No pain, no warning. Just a man or woman who thought they were fine because they felt fine, until they weren't. Atherosclerosis. That is the medical word for it. What it means in plain language is this: your arteries are hardening and narrowing, and blood cannot move through them the way it should. Your heart is working harder and harder to push blood through a smaller and smaller pipe. And one day, a clot breaks loose, or the pipe gets too narrow, and the blood supply to your heart, or your brain, gets cut off. That is a heart attack. That is a stroke. And the terrifying truth is that for most people, the first symptom they ever notice is the event itself. By then, the damage is already done. Doyle was one of those people. His wife Carol called me at 6 in the morning on a Tuesday. I had known her and Doyle for years. They were patients before they became something closer to friends. She said, "Leonard, he's not right. He's pale, and he says his left arm feels heavy, and I don't know what to do." I told her to hang up and call 911. I will never forget the sound of her voice. She was so calm, the way only a person who is truly terrified can be calm. She said, "Okay," and hung up. I was at the hospital by the time they brought him in. His left anterior descending artery, the one surgeons call the widowmaker for a reason, was 91% blocked. 91%. He had been walking around with less than a tenth of the normal blood flow through that vessel, probably for years, and he had felt nothing. Nothing. He had played 18 holes of golf 4 days before. The surgeon who opened him up told me afterward, "Another week, Leonard, and I don't know. One more week, and Doyle might not have made it." I stood in that hallway, and I thought about all the mornings Doyle sat at his kitchen table eating oatmeal and thinking he was doing right by his body. He was doing something right. But he was missing one piece. One simple thing that, had he added it years earlier, would likely have changed the state of his arteries entirely. I also stood in that hallway thinking about myself, because I had not been adding it either. I need to stop here for a moment, because this is the part I am least proud of. I was 68 years old when Doyle had his heart event. I had been telling patients for years about diet and heart health. I had been eating what I thought was a reasonably healthy breakfast, including oatmeal on most mornings. But I had grown lazy about the specifics. I told myself that oatmeal was enough, that the soluble fiber in oats, beta-glucan it is called, was doing the work of protecting my arteries. And it helps. Do not misunderstand me. Oatmeal is genuinely one of the best things you can eat for your cardiovascular system. The beta-glucan forms a gel in your intestines that binds to cholesterol and carries it out of your body before it can be absorbed into your blood. Your LDL, the bad cholesterol, goes down. That is real. That is not a marketing claim. That is decades of science. But oatmeal alone is not enough. When Emmett Rourke looked at my own lipid panel that year, the first really thorough look we had done together in a while, he pointed at my triglyceride numbers and said, "Leonard, you know better." And he was right. I knew better. I just hadn't been doing better. That conversation changed my habits. And the ingredient I am about to tell you about became part of my breakfast every single morning from that day forward. Ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon, stirred into your oatmeal while it is still hot. That is it. That is the thing. I know what you are thinking. You are expecting something exotic, something expensive, something from a bottle with a doctor's face on the label. And here I am telling you it is a tablespoon of flaxseed that costs $2 for a bag that lasts a month. Let me tell you why it matters. Flaxseed contains 3 things that are extraordinary for arterial health, working alongside the beta-glucan already in your oats. The first is additional soluble fiber, amplifying the cholesterol-lowering effect of the oatmeal itself. The second is lignans, plant compounds with antioxidant properties that help reduce inflammation in the arterial walls. Inflammation is the engine that drives plaque buildup. Quiet that inflammation and you slow the whole process. But the third thing is what I want you to hold on to. Ground flaxseed is one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Omega-3s have been shown in decades of research to reduce triglycerides, lower blood pressure, decrease the stickiness of blood platelets, which is what causes clots, and reduce inflammation throughout the cardiovascular system. You have heard of fish oil. This is the plant-based equivalent. And when it is combined with the beta-glucan in oats, you have created a breakfast that is actively working every single morning to protect the inside of your blood vessels. 1 tablespoon. Ground, not whole. Your body cannot break down the hard outer shell of a whole flaxseed, so every nutrient inside passes right through you unused. Ground flaxseed only, stirred in while the oatmeal is hot. That is the key. I told Doyle about it when he was in cardiac rehabilitation. He came to visit me about 6 weeks after his surgery, still moving carefully, still a little pale, but with color coming back to Carol's face now that the worst was behind them. He sat across from me in my office and said, "Leonard, is there something I could have done different?" I did not lie to him. I said, "Doyle, there is no guarantee, but there are things that help. And yes, there are things I wish you had known sooner." I told him about ground flaxseed. I told him about omega-3s and inflammation and beta-glucan and what they do together when you give your body the chance. He listened the way he always did. Quiet, still, not the kind of man who showed much on his face. And when I finished, he said, "So I should have been putting birdseed in my oatmeal." I laughed. The first real laugh I had had in weeks. He started adding it the very next morning. Carol sent me a photo about a year later, a lab report from his cardiologist showing his LDL was down, his triglycerides were down, his inflammatory markers were improved. At the bottom of the photo she had written in her careful handwriting, he calls it his birdseed. He has not missed a single morning. Now, before I close, I need to say something directly to you. If you are watching this and you have not had a lipid panel in more than 2 years, I want you to make an appointment this week. Not next month. This week. Because what happened to Doyle is exactly what makes heart disease the #1 killer in this country. It is quiet. It builds slowly. It gives you almost no warning, and the people who survive it are either lucky or they had already started doing the small daily things that slow it down. Oatmeal is one of those things. Ground flaxseed in your oatmeal is another. A walk after dinner, less processed sugar, knowing your numbers. These are not cures, they are not miracles, but they are the daily choices that determine the state of the pipes your blood travels through for the rest of your life. I am 79 years old. I have had my own close calls. I have buried friends. I have sat at bedsides and said things I wish I had never had to say. And I am telling you this because I have earned the right to tell you. Not from a textbook, but from 41 years of watching people ignore the small things until the small things became catastrophic ones. If you are younger and you are watching this because you are worried about a parent, show it to them. Sit down and eat breakfast with them. Make it together. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed in a bowl of oatmeal is such a small thing. It takes 30 seconds, and those 30 seconds might add years. Doyle Marsh walked his granddaughter down the aisle last spring. He sent me a photo. He is wearing a blue suit and a grin so wide it looks like it must have hurt his face. Carol is standing next to him in yellow. I have that photo on my refrigerator. Every morning when I make my oatmeal, I see it. I reach for the flaxseed, and I think about how close we came to a world where that photograph does not exist. Take care of your heart. Take it seriously. And please, add the birdseed.